making the council be the people who vote on the appointments. We agree with that. We like that idea. That was, I think, the major change, other than setting up a little more definitively what the terms of office are, and I think you all are wanting that too. And in fact, we had hoped maybe even tonight you'd draw straws or whatever you want to do, and so we'd have names to put in. And then whenever the first person is going off, if they want to stay on, that name would just come back to the council for reappointment if you all say so. You know what I'm saying? And that way, everything is in black and white, and we're all clear about it and understand it. When it came down to looking at the old trust indenture, and this is where Mr. Hicks comes in because he's the attorney that we look to for his advice. The way the original is worded makes it very difficult to amend it in particular, because it doesn't say the trustees at that time. It says those people who established that trust have to vote on an amendment. And he will address maybe a little bit later about the Oklahoma laws that when that's not possible, it is also vague about it being an Oklahoma state could be the beneficiary with the way it's worded. And we had the idea, and I'm here, and Shane would be here if he could, to reassure you that this idea is going to sound a little wild, but we want to reassure you we're not wanting to change anything that you all are doing or any of the people on it. We're asking if you would agree to creating a new trust, which would be more modern in its wording. It would have the same effect. You all would be the people on it. We would actually expand the name from industrial, which to me is somewhat limited, to be a city economic development trust authority, to distinguish it from the county economic development. And just to start fresh, clarify the wording, take nothing away from what is in there, but just start with a fresh document that is better written. Now the question came up about the assets that you have your name on. And I am reassured that that would be a pretty simple matter for you just to transfer those things over to the new name.
To the new trust.
To the new trust. And I guess we wanted to kind of fill you out on that and see, what do you think? Make it clear, make it fresh, make it in line with today's laws that we need to do, and just actually make it right just for once, to start fresh and be all.
Well, I think it's way past. Okay. I'm going to make a comment, but right off the bat, I support it. I applaud it. I embrace it. I think it's outstanding, because our scope, just by name itself, there's a couple things I'm going to address, but by name itself, Wagoner Industrial Authority, it kind of limits, even though we would like to do retail. There's a lot of scope of things that we could do, and like Ken says, it's just a name, but really what we want to do. But under the configuration of a new trust, it could be designed to open avenues and things that we might be able to do that we hadn't even dreamed of now. And then the other thing is that I look at, and Ken hasn't mentioned, but what's the opportunities of us getting grants and things under the old trust into the new trust? That's one thing I would like to, the way you configured, if there's anything that we can apply for, federal, state, to get grants under the new trust, I think that we need to look at that. But far as redoing it and getting it quote modernized into a simpler language that is a usable trust. That's what I'm calling it, is a usable trust. As our board, when all this came about, there was two things that you rested, and James rested assured right off the bat. Was one, that we felt that it was time that the city council had a say-so on who was in the trust as a trust on the board, and also that we felt that it needed to be a rotation. And in that rotation, whether they wanted to stay on or they wanted to get off, and then even at that time, and you're meeting that, still the city council needs to have the say-so within that. The mayor needs to have a say-so. We felt that we would like to have a say-so in who that person is. And I think that that's, back in the day when it was created, it was more of who was in and around and had the knowledge about that type of stuff. Now we've got a very diverse, even though we're somewhat older, but Charlotte's our new member, but we need a diverse body here that can also do not only retail, but look at and has the insight to look further than just now. We need to be looking at what we can really develop and how this trust can be used 5 years from now, 10 years from now. And the way it was set up, so there wasn't a vote, but by going around the room and getting the opinion of this board, it's unanimous. I never heard one negative comment. So the idea is, and the only thing that we're asking is that when it gets to that final stages and that stage in the drafts and whatever, if you would just come back and kind of fill us in or whatever, that would be nice.
It won't take very long.